that budget, I will make the choices necessary to deliver strong foundations for our economy. My budget, led by this government's values of fairness and opportunity, and focused entirely on the priorities of the British people, protecting our NHS.
Right, so apparently Rachel Reeves has discovered a brilliant new way to create jobs, just not in Britain. Genius, really. The Chancellor, who promised to champion working people, has somehow managed to make it cheaper for British companies to hire someone in Johannesburg than in, say, Jarrow. And we're not talking about manufacturing jobs shipped off decades ago. We're talking about Susan from Accounts, who's now SIPO from Cape Town, because national insurance has gone absolutely mental. Stick around, because this story gets worse the deeper you dig, and honestly, it's almost impressive how spectacularly this has backfired. Oh, and before we dive into this economic horror show, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because if you don't, you'll miss the next time a Chancellor accidentally tanks the job market while trying to fix it. Trust me, with this lot, it's only a matter of time. So here's what's happening. Rachel Reeves, in her infinite wisdom, decided to slap employers with a massive national insurance hike. You know, that thing businesses pay when they employ someone? Yeah, she made it more expensive. And shockingly, absolutely shockingly, businesses have responded by thinking, what if we just didn't employ people here? Wild concept, I know. Revolutionary stuff from the party that claims to support working people. It's like opening an umbrella shop during a drought and then wondering why nobody's buying. The numbers are genuinely staggering. We're talking an extra £900 in national insurance for someone on an average wage. For a minimum wage worker, the cost to employers has jumped from £22,438 in 2024 to £25,852 in 2026. That's over £3,000 extra just to employ someone on minimum wage. So naturally, businesses are doing the maths and realizing they can hire someone equally qualified overseas for a fraction of the cost. And I mean, can you blame them? When the government makes it economically suicidal to hire British workers, what exactly did they think would happen? Now, you might be thinking, surely this is just affecting a few jobs here and there, right? Wrong. Catastrophically wrong. Alex Fenton, who runs the Legends Agency, a company that literally specializes in helping British businesses hire South African workers, has basically said the quiet part out loud. Even sectors that you'd think were immune to this, like construction and hospitality, are now moving their back-office roles overseas just to survive. We're talking admin assistants, account staff, rota managers, customer service roles, jobs that used to go to young Brits starting their careers. And where are they going? South Africa mostly, where the labour costs haven't been artificially inflated by a chancellor playing economic Jenga with employer taxes. And here's the kicker. Unemployment in the UK has hit 5.1%. That's the highest it's been since the pandemic. Remember the pandemic? That global catastrophe that shut down the entire economy? Yeah, we're matching those unemployment figures now, and we don't even have the excuse of a once-in-a-century virus. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, the numbers are even brutal. We've lost 85,000 young Brits from the workforce. That's an entire stadium of young Brits who wanted jobs but can't get them because their own government has priced them out of the market. But wait, it gets better. Or worse. Definitely worse. Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride has pointed out the obvious. Labour's jobs tax is literally driving jobs out of Britain. It's shrinking the tax base, which means less revenue for the Treasury, which means Reeves isn't even getting the money she thought she'd raise from this policy. It's the economic equivalent of cutting off your nose to spite your face, except the face is the British workforce and the nose is, well, also the British workforce. The Centre for Policy Studies has confirmed what anyone with a calculator could have told you. When you make it uncompetitive to hire workers, businesses stop hiring workers. Revolutionary insight there. Daniel Herring from CPS notes that this disproportionately hammers the lowest paid and the young, exactly the people Labour claims to protect. The irony is so thick you could spread it on toast.
Oh, and just when you thought it couldn't possibly get more depressing. The De Vere Group, financial advisors who track these things, reckon the number of high earners leaving the UK could potentially double in 2026. Double! The UAE, Italy, Switzerland, Spain, Australia, Hong Kong, they're all rolling out the red carpet for international entrepreneurs, while Britain rolls out the tax demands. Nigel Green from De Vere calls it a contest for capital and talent, and spoiler alert, we're losing. It's like Britain has turned up to a global competition to attract talent and investment, looked at everyone else's offers and said, right, we'll do the opposite of that. Now, you'd think the government might look at all this and go, perhaps we've miscalculated. But no. The Treasury's response to all this is essentially, but we capped corporation tax at 25%, which is nice, sure, but doesn't really help when you've made it prohibitively expensive to actually employ the people who work at those corporations. It's like bragging about low rent prices while simultaneously setting fire to all the available housing. They also mention cutting waiting lists and borrowing, which is fascinating because it's hard to cut borrowing when you're hemorrhaging tax revenue because nobody's employing anyone anymore. And the Employment Rights Bill is still coming down the pipeline, which Stride warns will only make things worse by piling even more costs and uncertainty onto employers. Let's be clear about what's happening here. Labour has created a perfect storm where it's expensive to hire British workers, unemployment is soaring, young people can't find jobs, businesses are offshoring roles to survive, high earners are fleeing to sunnier tax climates, and the Treasury is losing out on the very revenue it thought it would gain. It's a masterclass in unintended consequences, except at this point, the consequences are so predictable they might as well have been intended. The real tragedy here is that it was entirely avoidable. You don't need a PhD in economics to understand that if you make something more expensive, people buy less of it. In this case, something is British Labour and people are British businesses. Reeves gambled that employers would just absorb the costs, and instead they've done what any rational actor would do. They've found cheaper alternatives. And now we've got young Brits unable to find work, businesses struggling to stay afloat, and a Chancellor who seems genuinely surprised that economic gravity still applies. So if you enjoyed watching me dissect yet another economic faceplant from Westminster, subscribe to Brit Article, hit that notification bell, and share this with anyone who still thinks Labour's economic plan makes sense. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Are you seeing this play out where you work? Do you know someone who's lost their job to this madness? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, where we'll probably be discussing whatever fresh chaos emerges from number 11. Cheers!